It's almost like going to work means going to war. It's a form of going to war because essentially you're going to work for a corporation that was built on what? Because what were most corporations built on? You know what I mean? Which it's hard to really control a mass amount of group of people without some type of power and control dynamic. You know what I mean? That's why it says like never put too much trust in friends, things that come to an end. Learn to use enemies. Means. But you see how like even enemy starts with like in, like to go in. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like learning to use yourself. The best way you learn to use yourself, you can use other people to your benefit. And I know that sounds weird, but why is the word enemy? Like, because if there's no enemy within, there's no enemy without. And that's probably really real than what we really realize. Because never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. How you gonna use somebody else without knowing how to use yourself? How does a pimp know what a hoe needs without knowing his own needs? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. But anyways, what was the point of the moral of the story I was trying to get to? Yeah, because I be thinking, like, how are things... I be trying to understand, like, humanity and why things happen and, like, thinking about it, like, for every cause there's a reaction type thing. For every reaction, there's a cause. Anyway, I'm such a, natural philosopher. Or even was it philosophy? But, yeah, I be wondering, like, certain things. Yeah. Well, oh, yeah, so work is a form of war. Yeah, work is like a form of war. So it's like, why do we work? We don't work. If you're not working, you're not at war. Because a lot of times people ask you, what do you do for work? What do you do for work? What do you do for work? What is it that you do for work again? But it's like, no, bro, what does work do for me? That's the question. Like, oh, why don't we ask each other, what does work do for you? What does your work do for you? You know what I mean? Why is that not the question? Why is it always, what do you do for work? I know, I'm just trying to figure out what you do for work. What do you do for work? And it's like, no, what does work do for me? And if you can't answer that question, you shouldn't even be working. And I hate to say that, because I be thinking like, yeah, I want to work, I want to get a job, whatever, I want to make some money, you know what I'm saying? I want to look the part, you know what I'm saying? At some point, I gotta look the part. But it's like, at some point, that mask is gonna slip, and you're not looking the part because you working doing something that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you probably, you know what I'm saying? You can fake it till you make it, though. You really can.